Of course, there's a way to craft your story and there's a way to share your story. And here's a couple tips. Les Brown said something that I really, really admire. He said that your story is not about you. It's not. It's really not about you, even though it happened to you. Because maybe you were contemplating suicide at one point, and your cousin is currently thinking about the same thing. What if your cousin, was comfortable enough, reaching out, or you saw them post something on social media, you was like, this don't look right, and you hit them up or you call them or you text them like, hey, is everything going all right? Just that reaching out means the world, to them. And maybe at that point they feel comfortable enough sharing, those thoughts or, what it is they're experiencing in that moment. Maybe you grew up rich and your story is really not about you telling everybody that you were rich and you had money, but maybe it's a sign that you should go to a area that's not, that doesn't have all the benefits and stuff that you had, or somebody to pour into them. Maybe, your thing would be to go and volunteer in that area and show them possibility. Show them that they don't just have to work at Family Dollar or, become the regular things that we hear, be a doctor, be a teacher, be a lawyer. But other jobs, other avenues, other entrepreneurship ventures that they can get into that you've experienced or you've heard about, or friends that are actually doing that very thing that you can introduce them to, or maybe your first 5 years were horrible. And you found a formula that works for your household that you're willing to share with other people. I would consider being somebody's mentor, doing a class, doing an online class, just a way to get your story out there so that you help build other people up. You grew through this thing. You didn't go through it. You grew through it, and you're able to help somebody else. Like right now, I am in a single season. It's not a sexy topic, and I desire a spouse. So talking about it is not fun for me, but it's a lane that is saturated. There are more single people on this earth than there are married people, so it's important to share the parts of, me being vulnerable and also me saying, hey, this is a season for you to turn all the way up. In my book, it's a chapter called Singleness, and I'm giving just nuggets on how to take your season to a whole nother level. Trust me, I am dropping jewels in this book. And I think it's important because people skip past it to rush to a season that they know nothing about instead of living the season that they're in to the fullest. And it's not a sexy topic, but it's a necessary topic. It's like pick the lane that you know very well and help somebody else in it. That's really what this sharing your story is about. Another thing to consider, something that Lisa Nichols says, I love. She said, "Stand on your story, don't stand in your story. Stand on your story, don't stand in your story." Because our story really is to empower other people and empower ourselves. It's not for pity and it's not for sympathy. Like, oh, my frog died when he was 9, and you bust out in tears. No, don't do that. Don't be tied to it. Use your story. Use your story for your own healing and for the purpose of blessing other people. It will require that you're vulnerable. I'm going to be honest. It's going to require that you're very vulnerable. When I talk about my mom, I still get a frog in my throat. And I smile too, but it's still emotional for me because I loved her and I admire her so much. And I got 25 years with her. It's going to require that you're vulnerable, but somebody needs to hear it because somebody might go through that very thing. I'm going to say this again. All parts don't need to be shared. You don't have to tell every single secret, every dark thought. You don't. You don't have to share every single thing. And that's something that Iyanla Vanzant said. She said, I don't share anything that I haven't healed from. I don't share anything that I haven't healed from. So you haven't healed from it, don't share it. Some things you're probably always going to be very emotional about. I think I'm probably always going to be emotional about my mom. It was very comforting to see that even Steve and Tyler Perry, You know, they were talking about their moms and they got emotional on stage together. And I was like, oh, even, and there's so much time has passed for them, but they still get emotional. I was like, dang, that's probably going to be me, because they were just they were major stamps in our life and stamps on our heart. And it's so crazy because losing my mother made me appreciate her so much more. So much more. And really, when you start writing down your story and going through your story, you'll start to see that you appreciate more things than you disliked them, at that time. But you get to decide how much you share. You don't have to share everything, okay? And you get to share how your story is going to look. You get to share how it's going to look. Whether you want to do Facebook Live or you want to do Instagram Live, whether you want to tell your kids, whether you want to speak for free, paid speaking, whether you want to just volunteer and you do one-on-one, whether you want to set up different organizations, that share stories, various stories, to help young kids, whether you want to do a blog, a pamphlet, a booklet, maybe you want to write an actual book, you get to choose how you share. I am co-authoring a book with James Malinchak, and one of my tips in the book was nobody's going to write your obituary the way you can write your obituary, right? So if you don't write it before you leave, somebody else is going to write it. The question is, what content are they going to use when they write your obituary? I think you should share stories with people. Maybe they don't know about all your awards, or they don't know about, stuff that you accomplished because they didn't see it on Facebook or something. Write this stuff down. Keep track of it. Keep record of it. Keep your certificates or whatever. Scan them in just in case, something happens to your home. Put them up, put it on your email. Something. Keep record of your story. Keep record of your history, because it's important. If you walked on this earth, you mattered and you were necessary. And I cannot wait to read and hear about some of your stories. Matter of fact, I'm going to challenge you. I want you to comment on this video, and I want you to share one part of your story that was great. Something. It doesn't have to be very long, 5, 6, 7 sentences, something that happened in your life that you just, every time you think about it, you smile or you laugh really hard. I have so many stories. People actually send me pictures reminding me of stuff I want to forget, but whatever, it's my story. I want you to write it under this video and just share a part of your story right now. I'm going to challenge you. Make sure you subscribe so you can get more of these videos. I hope you enjoyed this series. I enjoyed it so much, and I so look forward to seeing you all on the next video. Bye.